Alright, so how's it going everybody, and let's make this short and sweet. These are the best GPU combos to pair with the Ryzen 7 7700. Now basically the Ryzen 7 7700 is a CPU that you can pair with any GPU on the market all the way up to the RTX 4090, but this CPU goes for $300, and this is my opinion what makes sense getting. So like that video if you actually found it helpful, and press that subscribe button and check out the links in the description. And without wasting any more time, let's get to it. So first up, right out of the bat, in my opinion the best budget board, let's just get it straight, is the Gigabyte B650M HDV. This one goes for $125. It's got good VRMs. It supports the higher end 7950Xs, which goes over 125 watts of TDP. So it supports the high, power limit or power hungry CPUs when it comes to the Ryzen 7000 series CPUs. So yeah, I really like that one. It's got all the bells and whistles, and it will last you fine for the next 5 years if you're just gonna stick to the AM5 platform. And let's just cut it to the highest end GPUs. What are the GPUs that you should pair this CPU with? So first up, in my opinion, you should pair this CPU absolutely with something like the AMD RX 7900 XT or the RTX 4070 Ti. But I'm leaning towards the RTX 4070 Ti more because this GPU goes for $800. It's the same performance compared to the RX 7900 XT, maybe 10% lower. But actually, once you factor in DLSS 3, once you factor in ray tracing, this GPU is far more superior in my opinion. And you got the NVENC encoder, and you got the AV1 encoding, and you got the CUDA acceleration if you do a lot of video editing, you do 3D rendering, or anything related to the NVIDIA supported programs. So I think this CPU makes up for a really good CPU GPU combo at 1080p, 1440p, or even 4K, and this is my first option that I would like you to go for. Now next up, you know what it is, which is the AMD RX 7900 XTX and the NVIDIA RTX 4080. Both GPUs perform the same, but it's kind of the same trend compared to the 7900 XT and 4070 Ti. I mean, the 4080 has the better performance when it comes to the ray tracing and the DLSS 3 and the NVENC encoder and AV1 encoder and Intel QuickSync, while AMD has just the same performance of the RTX 4080. It doesn't have anything in advantage compared to the 4080, but you can find it a lot of times for as cheap as $930. So this is around $200 cheaper than the RTX 4080. So you're sacrificing all the stuff that I have mentioned, but you are getting the same performance for $200 less. So you can do the math. You can build around a $1,500 gaming PC with the Ryzen 7700 and XTX, and it provides the same performance of the RTX 4080. But this is really subjective on the deals that you can find. But of course, if you want to go with the RTX 4080, this is the one I'd like you to go with. Now, I wouldn't like to go with the RTX 4090. I feel like the RTX 4090 is a bit of an overpriced GPU first. And if I have the money to go with the 4090, I would go with the 7800X3D next to that. So yeah, in my opinion, I'd go as far as the RTX 4080. This is one of the highest end consumer grade GPUs. But other than that, I think that's a waste of money in general. And yeah, if I have the money to go with a $1,600 GPU, I would pay an extra $170 to $200 on a better CPU. And when it comes to the cooler, actually the Ryzen 7 7700 comes with the Race Prism cooler, which is actually more than enough if you decided to run it on stock clocks. If you decided to turn on PBO in some games, this CPU would go for around 85 to 89 degrees Celsius, and the TGI max or TGP max of this CPU is 100 degrees, so we are around 10 to 12 degrees behind the throttling point. But on top of all that, that's if you decided to squeeze more performance. If you didn't want to do so, you're not even gonna touch the 80 degrees when it comes to gaming. So yeah, that's been it. If you like the video, press on that like button. For the similar to that, can subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.